What's going on, everybody? It is Saturday after Halloween, and I decided I wanted to fire up the smoker. I went to Costco, and today what I want to do is I'm thinking like some Tex-Mex smoked tacos. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I just got the meat at Costco. We'll figure that out, but for now, normally I would want to try to start with a brisket, but briskets are I'm down here, can you see me? $6.39 a pound, which is, so I'm not going to buy a brisket. So what I ended up doing is getting, let's get this off here, a nice chuck roast, and you can see here, this chuck roast has very good marbling in it. And this is what you want to look for, this intermuscular marbling. And this is what you would call the Denver steak here. So I'm going to save this. You could actually cut this into steaks. This is the one that I'm going to smoke. And you can see it's just got great marbling. And all of this is going to break down. It's big and thick, so it's going to, hold moisture better. So, because this is, this is only $7.99 a pound. So where a brisket, they're like $130 there. I could get this for $47. And so I went ahead and did that. And then what I'm also going to do is these actually look pretty good. They're only $18.51 a pound. And they're basically bone-in pork chops. So I'm going to cut me off a big thick boy. And I'm going to eat that or cook that while I'm cooking this. I'll cook it on the front of the smoker. So for this, pretty much just going to leave almost all of this because all of this stuff is going to render down and in this long cook and should be good. So really, you just want to go through and see if there's any silver skin that you want to take off. There really isn't. It's going to sit kind of like this. So the way that the smoke is going to come, it is beneficial to just kind of, like I've said before, just round that edge a little bit. And I don't want to take off too much meat, but this does actually help quite a lot. So just kind of round that edge so that the heat and the smoke can come right up and it doesn't create turbulence, which will crisp that edge up. So that's pretty much good for that. This guy is pretty tacky already. I was going to put some olive oil on it, but I don't think I need to. So this is just my Texas rub, and I've said this before, but what it is so 1 part coarse ground black pepper to half part Lowry seasoning salt, half part coarse ground kosher salt. So we're going to put this on real heavy because this is a thick piece of meat. So don't be afraid to, season this pretty heavy. Last thing you want to do is spend all that time and then it comes out and it's bland because you don't have the seasoning on it. So we're just going to go through and really put a lot of this on. Give it a little pat. Patty McPattison. We're going to do this with some pecan and some post oak, probably. Run it on the offset, like I've said before. Throw it on your Traeger. If you don't have an offset, throw it on your pellet grill. Throw it on whatever you got. The one thing that I hear all the time is, I'd love to, cook stuff like that, but I don't have a smoker, an offset. Okay, throw it on the Traeger. Oh, I don't have a Traeger. Okay, throw it on a gas grill for all I care. Just cook it slow on the gas grill, like you would. It worked just fine. So there was kind of a weird looking piece of meat there, some gray meat, so I decided to take that off. So, again, nice heavy coating. Almost like, pretty much the same as like a brisket. Here is how we're just going to do this. And don't forget your edges. And that looks pretty good. So I'll bring you back. I'm going to cut myself a big thick pork chop, and I'll show you that thing as well. Alright, y'all, I got it unpackaged. This is basically like the ribeye of pork. So you've got one side over here that is mostly the lean, or pretty much all the lean meat. This side is kind of like a ribeye like you would see, where it's got lean and some dark meat on it. So I'm going to choose to come off this side. I'm just going to face this in the beginning here, just kind of square it up so that it'll sit on the grill nice. So you can see there, and then I'll still cook that. And I don't know how thick I want. I want this thing thick, man. I'm almost thinking a 2-bone, but because I feel like a 1, it's not really going to be thick enough. So I'm thinking if I cut it right down broad, right next to this guy here, just like this. There's some bones right there that I gotta get through here. Oh boy, some technical difficulties. Come on. There we go. And we'll just go right down just like that. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. So you can see it's a good looking pork chop. So I'll be able to, I haven't eaten yet, it's 1 o'clock, and so I'll eat this for lunch, and it will be delicious. So, alright y'all, I'll bring you back when it's time to throw this stuff on the smoker. I just wanted to show this real quick. So this was $18, and you can see I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could have had 8 because this is a 2-bone. So 8, and it was about $18. Like, let's just say it's 20. So like $2.50 a piece, and you can see those are really nice pork chops. They've got the dark meat and then the loin. So it's an alternative that is really pretty tasty if you just put a little bit of effort into it, and then I'll vacuum seal all of these. So, for $2.50 or whatever, like, that's a good deal. One of those with some sides and you're fed. A good deal in today's standard because everything is so expensive. But anyway, I just wanted to show you what that turned into. Y'all, so we are going to rock this thing about 275 until it's time to wrap. So on goes our chuck roast. It's going to go over here. Can you see it? Yeah, you can. Alright, so I'm getting temperature from right there. And again, I want that spot so that the heat and the smoke can go right up over it. And then the big bad daddy, he's going to go up here. Listen, be very quiet. You hear it? Listen. Ooh, yeah. And then I got a little, don't waste nothing. So, yeah, that I'll just keep an eye on. It's going to cook faster, obviously, but this guy here, we're going to try to rock it about 275 until we get to probably 170 internal, and we're going to wrap in butcher paper and then probably finish it in the oven, just because once you wrap it, there's no point, you're not getting any more smoke or anything. And so I'll bring you back with some updates. So I'm going to do a video because I'm going to make some tacos. I'm trying to make some Tex-Mex tacos. That's a chuck roast. But while I wait, I got to fill myself up. So look at that pork chop, 2-bone. Put that thing on the front of the smoker here. You can see it's getting kissed by the flames of heaven. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? That perfect color. That fat sizzling away. Y'all, let's take a look at this thing. Look at that. So I ended up putting some water pans in here because the surface was drying out. When you put the water pans, the heat hits it, it evaporates, and it creates a more humid smoke cook chamber. You can see that moisture on the surface there, that helps the smoke to kind of adhere to the surface, and it also makes it to where it doesn't dry up too much. It's pretty good, doesn't it? Alright, y'all, take two, because for some reason my camera shut off. I pulled this thing. We were at about 170 and about 155 in the center, but I'm good with this just because I'm just making tacos with it. So you can see all this oil. I had already wrapped this. I unwrapped it because the camera didn't catch it for some reason, but that is beef tallow that I made before, and that's just to help keep it moist. This is bad for your cholesterol, so, you know, but every once in a while. So what I did is I just took a bunch of this beef tallow and put it on there. And now we're going to wrap this thing up and put it in the oven. I'm going to go run some errands, so I'm going to put it in at like 250. And I can turn it up when I get home. So, to wrap it, I kind of want this part to be up. Okay? Because this is the brisket, and the bottom can kind of lay in that tallow, and some of this bark can wash away. So, I try to remember up and down, you know, so this is up, so, you know, you'll wrap it, and that's, so now we're down, now we're up, now we're down, up, down, up, down, okay, so we're down, and then what we'll do is fold, and we'll fold, and we were, down, I think, okay, down, I think, I can't even remember now, this should be up, I think. Okay, and you want it nice and tight, like a baby. Get that baby in that blanket. And then, so we're up here, so it's not really going to work out for me to flip it again. So what you do now is you can just take this excess and flip it right up underneath there. Okay, and like I say, in the oven at 250. And what we're going to do, we're going to wait until that probe, that temperature probe, it just slides in there just like nothing. Alright, because you don't want to just go off of temperature. You can, temperature is a guideline, okay? But you gotta wait until that probe just sink. If that probe, if it gets you some pressure, you know, if it's a little tight, you wait until it loosens up, and you just want that thing, shoo. So I'll show you how to do that, but for now it's going in the oven at 250. I'll bring you back. So I am attempting to make some mango salsa, which I have never made, but I think it's going to be good on these tacos. I was inspired by me and my boy Frankie, Big Frankie, went to a barbecue place, and they had this habanaro mango barbecue sauce, which was really good. So I wanted to try it. So what I got here, 2 mangoes, 6 habaneros. I took the seeds out, but I saved them because if it's not hot enough, I can add the seeds in. And this is a cooked one, which I've never done. You cook it and then you blend it, or you could do it in the Instapot. But based on the instructions, it seemed kind of weird how you'd have to do it. So, onion and tomato and some garlic here. So I'm going to start with the garlic and just get that browning. I got just some oil. Alright, y'all. So I got just some rough chopped cilantro here. These have been cooking down. I'm not exactly sure. I think I did it, cooked it enough, so we're just kind of experimenting. Now we gotta get these into here. Oh boy. Come on, baby. Do it for daddy. Do it once. Oh yeah. Oh, not too bad. See? I was catastrophizing about knitting. Alright. Did eat a couple of the mangoes. They have some spice to them, so I'm gonna hold off on putting the seeds in. I'll probably try to put about that much cilantro, I think, maybe. And I did put a little salt, but we're gonna have to put more. So, hang on. I really need a new blender. I'll bring you back once I get it blended. Y'all, the salsa turned out exceptional. Very, very good recipe. You can see that there. It's very good. It's spicy too, so I'm glad I didn't put the seeds in. So you can see our chuck roast here has been resting. So we are just going to try to unwrap him without making a total disaster, which may or may not be possible here. And then this oil, oh yeah, look at that, huh? Woo-wee! And then what we'll do, like I say, this is not so good for my cholesterol, so I just do it every once in a while. But see this oil in here, this is what I was talking about. I'm going to use that to fry up some tortillas. And then I got a little avocado, and I am going to make an egg and put it on one and just try to see how that is. So let's crisp up some tortillas, y'all. Let's get this done. So we've got our chuck roast here, and we kind of want to cut this against the grain. That is against the grain. So you can see beautiful smoke ring. See that smoke ring? And you know what? I think I actually, let's see. No, that'll work. That'll work. So we're just going to cut some pieces for our taco here. You know me. I want meat on my taco time. Alright. Got some nicely crisped tortillas. And I'm thinking, let's just give this one of these. Like I say, this is kind of experimental. Don't really know. I kind of want the egg on top of the one that I'm trying with the egg because I want the runny yolk to kind of go down through the meat when you bite into it. We're just going to go ahead and throw an avocado on there. And then this one is getting a very poorly fried egg, but it's okay. And then to top it, just give it a little. How's that look, y'all? Looks pretty good to me. Alright, so there's one. And the other one, we're doing no egg. So we could probably give him a little bit more meat. You can see this is very, very nice. So yeah, the chuck roast is just because briskets are so expensive. You know, that chuck roast was $42. I did cut some off and give it to someone, so it would have been much larger. But, you know, so it'll feed quite a few still. That's probably too much meat. Yeah, I always get a little crazy with the meat. And then we're just going to give this some avocado, a little garnish with a little cilantro, and that's still too much meat. No way I'm going to be able to close that thing. Now let's give it some homemade salsa right over the top. There you go. Couple little open-faced tacos. Let's go see how they are. Well, you see it? Let's give this thing a ripper and see how it is. If I'm being honest, it's not very good. The mango doesn't. No, it's good. The mango salsa is delicious. I piled it up a little high. I mean, if you guys are gonna do it, I would suggest making a little smaller taco. But man. Wow. That is really good. I mean, the egg does it, the yolk just runs right down, and it kind of mixes with that spicy habanero, and that meat's so tender. This is kind of cool because you could actually just, like that chuck roast, you could just make it, slice it, and vacuum seal in portions, and you can make these tacos whenever you want. So, that's a win. Plating could use a little bit of work. Maybe slightly bigger tortilla. But, man, the flavors are stupendous, to be honest. They really are. That sauce is wonderful. And it's kind of cool because, you know, I don't know why I always just figured it was, like, really hard to make, like, a salsa with, like, fruit in it like that. But it's not. I mean, it's simple. So, all right, y'all. Have a good one.